Well, yeah.
A phone with a fast processor, decent amount of speed and RAM, ample amount of storage, Full HD display, big battery, with a stock version of Android 9 with no bloatware, and all that for less than the price of a weekend at Disneyland or just about that. Is it too good to be true? Maybe. But we're about to find that out. The feedback for this phone seemed promising, other tech channels who got it seemed to like it, so I decided to see what it is like. Umidigi F1, provided to me by Umidigi, hence the Amazon box, appears to have all that. I get the appeal of expensive phones, I mean $1,500 Galaxies and iPhones with their fancy OLED displays, premium components, appealing screen-to-body ratio, but they are far from affordable for the majority of the world's population, including myself. China has been hooking us up with reasonably priced devices for a while now. Xiaomi Pocophone has been named flagship killer, Huawei have been steadily increasing their market share, and OnePlus is the top phone brand in India. First thing that I noticed is that the phone has 2 nano SIM card slots, USB Type-C charging and data port, and thank god a 3.5mm aux input. A quick overview of specs. Helio P60 octa-core processor with 2.0 GHz cores, massive 5150 mAh battery, 6.3 Full HD IPS display with a 92.7 display-to-body ratio, which is a lot of display, 4GB of RAM, dual rear camera, 16 and 8 megapixels, and Bluetooth 4.1. The phone supports NFC and it can be used with Google Pay. I like the curve for the front camera, which is embedded into the display. This design feature is more common to higher-end phones, which adds a nice touch to how the phone looks. Some things still throw me off, like having to swipe up to enter the menu or swiping up instead of to the side to close an app, but I think it's the new Android version rather than the phone itself. And also 2 separate buttons for the volume takes some getting used to. Now the camera, which is probably the most important feature for many. There are 2 lenses on the back, 16 and 8 megapixels with an upgraded multi-frame noise reduction. The minimal aperture is 1.7, which is very good, and there is bokeh mode where you can make the background more or less blurry. I mean, it is pretty good, but there is no option to adjust the image after you shot it, like you can do on iPhone X for example. The video quality is adequate. In my opinion, the camera performs well in bright light and in dimmer environments. It shoots in 30 frames per second max. The phone does have an electronic image stabilization, which makes a little difference, especially when the image is zoomed all the way in. Frontal camera images come out pretty good. The frontal camera also has 16 megapixels. What I found really cool is time-lapse mode. This is a 25-minute clip of a resurrection plant that we have unboxed in one of our previous videos. The battery is really nice. 5150 mAh is enough to last me for 2 days of normal use, which is browsing Instagram on breaks and before sleep, for occasional calls and messagings, and a little bit of Candy Crush. Internal memory capacity is 128GB, 8 of which are already allocated to system files. Of course I can install a memory card. The downside is that there are 2 Torx screws on the bottom that need to be taken out in order to pop the back panel, which is just like, why would you do that? Anyway, Face Unlock works quite well. There is a setting that you can enable which will illuminate the screen to the max to provide sufficient lighting to your face so that it's more visible for the scan. The fingerprint scanner is very fast, it takes only a split second to unlock the phone. There is a speed booster which will restrict apps from running in the background that is supposed to help the phone run faster. Exceptions can be added to the apps, for example if you want to always be getting WhatsApp or Telegram updates, this can be arranged. There is a built-in barcode scanner, the purpose of which is not fully understood yet. Possibly it's meant for QR codes. There is a chunk files remover which will exclude the need to install external apps to do that. An eloquently executed flashlight that has an SOS mode in Morse code for emergencies. The touchscreen test showed that up to 10 touches can be recognized at the same time. It might be more than that, but 10 is the maximum amount of fingers that I have at my disposal. Display. I found out that it was really bright and had nice viewing angles, which is an advantage of an IPS panel. The color gamut is not as great as on the OLED displays obviously, which is in part responsible for the overall lower price of this phone. As you can see here, Umidigi F1 has no problems playing 60 frames per second videos. Not bad at all. To test the gaming capability, I looked up the most demanding free mobile games, and the first one was Darkness Rises. This game has hardware-intensive graphics, yet the game still runs with no lag. Overall, I think it's a very decent phone for the price. It is a much better deal than the LG Stylo that I have been using before, which costed about the same when I bought it. And it is light years away from the Blue One X that I had before the LG. To see more unboxing videos, head to this playlist. Next week I will have a post about the best wireless earphones up on the website. I also added a few more gadgets to the shop section, so be sure to check them out by clicking the link here. I appreciate you watching the video until the end. See you all next week. Cheers!